We've done a lot of the heavy analysis of what these decks can do already in the series, so let's just see what these guys have to offer. Kolento's going to start off with Control Priest, and we see the Ramp Druid for SilentStorm, and he's going to have one of the best starts possible with Wild Growth in his opening hand.
Absolutely, it's exactly what you want as the Druid. We'll see if this Priest deck can actually keep beating Druid, because, you know, I thought Druid was favored in the Kolento versus Nyria matches, but Kolento won both times. So maybe that happens again, and the Priest deck ends up surprising us.
Well, I mean, if you play Priest the way Kolento played it, maybe you're the one favored. But goodness, he made it look really difficult twice over. Just because of how much Druid was able to harass. And if Kolento didn't get that Holy Smite, there's no guarantee whatsoever if Kolento has been able to finish that game as quickly as he did. Now, he is thinking over possibilities. He doesn't have a much stronger play on turn 3 than Injured Blade Master's Circle of Healing. It's probably as good as it gets. Druid can't deal with it.
SilentStorm's Druid list doesn't have Yetis, so it's going to be a little bit more manageable, I think, than Nyria's was. But it does have Kel'Thuzad, some extra beef in the late game. It has Cairn, which is very problematic for Priest to deal with. Only one Sludge Belcher, which is really interesting. He's playing one Azure Drake instead of the second one.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a difference in lists. One big game hunter. We'll see if those changes end up, you know, being good or bad in terms of the Priest matchup. Man, a full health Injured Blade Master is so tough for Druid to deal with. There's just almost nothing that effectively answers it.
Yeah, the fact is Druid has to spend a lot of the removal spells, and the damage doesn't even reach currently at the moment. Like, the only way to kill it off this turn is to double Wrath, and that's, of course, we know is really inefficient. Whoa. All right. Creative play to set up a swipe. Yeah.
He wants to get these creatures down now before the Cabal Shadow Priest turn, and then trade them off. That's why he's making a play that looks a little sketchy, but it's definitely correct, I think.
But unfortunately for him, he's got double Power Shield and Circle of Healing. This is crazy.
Oh man.
I feel bad for. I kind of feel bad for Storm. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he's just
oh gosh. That is terrible news. Wow.
How do you deal with that as a Druid? It's just nothing. Yeah, because you have to kill the 4/9 first before the Dark Cultist. That's brutal. Well, you can use your entire hand and kill the Blade Master right now.
Oh man. You gotta find better answers.
There you go.
Yeah, that's something.
May have been the only card he could have drawn this turn, I think. So now he's actually back in it, because Sylvanas is just an absurd card.
Assuming Kolento doesn't top deck a Silence here.
Yeah.
He does run Silence, right? I'm not mistaken.
I think he runs one, yeah. Yeah, he should be playing one, but we haven't seen it.
Look at this.
This is so good.
Sylvanas to replace the Sylvanas.
And he's gonna play his own Sylvanas. Oh my god, that's so good for SilentStorm. SilentStorm's just gonna kill off the Dark Cultist and then Wrath his own guy. Kolento doesn't want to do nothing this turn. So he's gonna play the Sylvanas, but that'll end up wrecking him.
You can Wrath your own guy. That's kind of weird because you don't usually do that, but you can target it. That's right.
That one Sylvanas draw may have been the he was so far behind. I think the other 24 cards in his deck or whatever would not have.
Oh. Okay.
I don't.
He's also.
And I mean, I guess okay. This is better maybe.
Because I think if he lost a coin flip for that, like say he stole the 4/8.
Was there really a way to lose? Because it would have been a 4/11 because of the Cultist death rattle.
Oh my god.
Yeah. He knew he played a Silence too. They've seen deck lists. I don't like that. I would have popped the Sylvanas that turn.
Oh
So
man.
I think he's back to being hopelessly behind.
So now does Kolento? How does Kolento do this? Does he want to silence and kill it, save Sylvanas, and then have Kel'Thuzad value next turn? Do you want to steal your Sylvanas and take it away so you can save the silence? I think Shadow Word Death is much more valuable than silence, though. Yeah, I like that way better.
Yeah, I mean, I think you just trade the 3/4.
Sounds good to me, bro.
You could trade the 4/4, I guess. This is
Oh,
way
you
better.
might
Yeah,
get the buff.
yeah, this is just strictly better. Okay. Well,
Damn. Well, SilentStorm with the first play that we've seen from him that might be disagreeable, but either way, he's in a tough position. How do you kind of climb back from this deficit?
yeah, I mean, he's at 11
Sylvanas is
life.
really tough.
It has to be over. There's just nothing you can do here.
Yeah,
I
if
think
KT comes down here, there's nothing you can do about it.
Let none survive.
Oh, yeah, sure, why not, I guess. Super safe approach. I like Kel'Thuzad because it represents the damage to kill your opponent, but...
Yeah, I think I'm with you there. I might have played Kel'Thuzad. Kolento doesn't like playing this deck very aggressively, though. Just always maximize value, hero power as much as he can. Kind of the same thing when it comes to Paladin, too, from what I saw. But
Well,
yeah,
it's just his approach in general. He's like a very safe player. Even with Miracle Rogue, for example, he accounts for like all kinds of possibilities. Even though he does set up for like the lethal plays with Leroy and whatnot, whenever I watched the stream, he was always very conservative.
Is someone injured?
Northshire heal. Okay.
Let me
So he's opting not to Shadow Word Death this turn. He's hoping that the
Yeah.
let none survive.
tree will protect. I mean, it doesn't matter. There's no way to misplay
He
this.
never gets to show that he thought stole KT. This is disappointing because I'm pretty sure SilentStorm will most likely concede here. Unless he feels like he wants to toss it back to his opponent just to have the last blow. For gentleman's sake.
Yeah. Not really a great way to Sudoku right now. I guess he's thinking about what outs he has at this point, but I mean, we have the deck list here. There's nothing. Maybe Ancient of War off of that, and I don't even know what that would accomplish.
Well, just barely keeps him alive, I think. Nope, not even. You just push through with the existing damage on board, and that's over. So the question becomes, how does Kolento end this game, Ray?
Well, let's take a look at his hand and
None survive.
all the wonderful ways in which we can BM. I would mind control my Dark Cultist. I'm gonna opt to.
Mind
Such a
control your
gentleman.
dark. How do you even do that? All
You
right,
can
game
target
one
it,
is
right?
over. Yeah, I guess so. Game one is over, and now. All right, game two is about to begin. I agree with you there. I think Warlock would be really strong. And he is going to lean towards it immediately. Kolento, not happy with his opening hand, knows that this is a hand-locked deck, cross-referencing and checking.
So
It's like fire and ice when Kolento screen versus this guy, other Sky screen SilentStorm.
SilentStorm is playing a handlock deck with a second set of 4-drops besides Twilight Drake. So because he has the second set of 4-drops, it's not correct to coin life tap ever because it doubles the odds that you, well, more than doubles the odds, I think, that you have a double 4-drop draw going second, which would let you play a big threat on turn 3 with using coin. So you can go like Twilight Drake turn 3, Twilight Drake turn 4, or Void Caller turn 3, Twilight Drake turn 4. Something like that. Which is very strong when it ends up happening. He also has the option here to go Soulfire Life Tap, or rather Life Tap and then Soulfire. This would still let him play Giant on curve, but Doomsayer is definitely better here. Doomsayer is the best turn 3 play in the game, going second. I haven't played that guy since Season 1 of Ranked, but
Huh. Well, not much synergy there. as I don't believe there's any demons whatsoever available to Kolento.
Yeah. I mean, it's a 4-mana 3/4. For what it's worth, it's his like best play next turn on an empty board.
Well, he has Sludge Belcher. Slightly better.
Oh, my mistake. I thought he had 4 this turn for some reason. I'm getting tired.
Nah, no worries.
He had 4 last turn. Okay. Do you... I guess you start with life tap, right?
Yeah, see what you get. Okay.
I like
No,
Soulfire
like-
Coil.
Well, SilentStorm thought about it for a second, but opt to keep it instead. I think it's okay. Do
Yeah, it's
open
not
up
bad.
to like a Akanai Circle combo, but then your opponent's
it-
trading 2 for 2.
It opens up to Shadow Priest, which is why I don't like playing the 2/3 on this turn.
That's true.
So the turn Kalento's going to have 6 mana. Maybe just Shadow Flame now that it's out there.
You don't have a better target than Shadow Flame. Well, you drew Drake, so Drake's nice, and you can still go Drake with the opportunity to Soulfire.
I like
Hellfire
Hellfire
to
here. Hellfire is way more aggressive. I would life tap before Soulfiring though, because you don't want to pitch your Drake. Okay. Good play. Yeah, now he's got Siphon, another Soulfire. Really aggressive hand, so that's exactly what you want. If you're SilentStorm at this point. Holy Smite comes out, Farseer, so he develops a pretty strong board here. Kolento is not in too bad a shape, honestly, and he's slowly getting closer and closer to that mind control turn.
Yeah, I think as long as Kolento can continue to take out these giants, it'll be fine. And the mind control is a way to deal with those Drakes if all else fails and he doesn't get that silence.
So many possibilities.
SilentStorm, what did he have in response? He still had some powerful cards. I remember the Twilight Drake and a Molten Giant. Well, he tossed out the Drake. He hopes his opponent doesn't have the silence. But Kolento gets silence off the top. How does he keep
man.
doing this?
It's pretty good.
Wow.
I guess you pyro silence.
Yeah, get the instant kill. It's an Earth Shock.
I guess you should Power Word Shield first. You don't want to deal excess damage to your stuff for no reason. Probably on the Farseer, so that it's not vulnerable to Hellfire.
How did he do this twice in a row against the Drake? Like, that had the perfect silence target. Ah, oh well.
Well,
If you use silence, are you dropping the Void Caller or are you healing a minion?
I would heal, I think. Well, I don't know. Not anymore, I guess, since you Power Word Shielded the 4/8. The more I think about it, the more... Oh, this is so interesting. I'm not sure about this. He's saving Pyro for some reason. I guess he's just scared of Hellfire or just another sweeper. I mean, this is fine too. It's just keeping the Farseer alive had a lot of benefit potentially. Good turn for SilentStorm though. Molten Siphon. Definitely good for him. A little bit of lag for him as well.
Oh,
happens.
I thought something didn't work. I was like, what's going on here? Slight
Yeah,
delay.
sometimes when you're streaming, it kind of
Yeah,
slows
the
down.
packets get lost or something, and then
Exactly.
like has like a weird delay. But this, at least on Kolento's screen, the Injured Blade Master is dead, and
Yep, it did
Kolento's
get
still
keyed.
mana off from doing mind control.
So as soon as the server reconnects, hopefully it will, SilentStorm will be able to hit end turn.
Wow.
That would really That'd be unfortunate if a game got decided by server lag. Luckily, it didn't happen, so. Well, if you're SilentStorm here, you're pretty happy. He's in a very good spot.
Yeah, Kolento's gonna be reaching for his last point of damage. But he is coming up on mind control turns. Wait, hold on.
No, it's not.
5. Okay.
I mean, it
He's
might be.
1 damage. Wait. He's 1 damage off killing him?
He's one. He doesn't have the mana. That's the problem.
So many possibilities.
Well, if he had Hellfire, Doomguard, and Soulfire, that's actually
Yeah.
20 damage right there.
It is, yeah. It's one short.
Wow.
But then the Doomguard has to not discard the other stuff, and
Yeah. It's always the optimistic thing.
you should just coil here, right? Like, why not coil?
Yeah. Wait, does he have lethal that we're missing?
No. You might think he has lethal. I mean, if Mortal Coil could go face, he has lethal, maybe.
Oof.
One
Oh!
Mountain Giant Captain.
The classic rookie mistake.
Yep. Alright, Sludge Belcher it is, and let's see. Let's see if Kolento can draw anything to get out of this. I mean, I don't think so. It looks nearly unwinnable for Kolento at this point. Okay, that's not bad.
That's something. Get yourself back up a little bit.
That's actually pretty good. I think, yeah, might as well play Northshire, because you're going to mind control next turn.
Plus, Holy Fire still is a lethal based off what is going on here. Now, we know there's lots of ways to deny it.
If SilentStorm plays Doomguard, Kolento could steal that and kill him with it.
That is a possibility. But there's just too many valuable cards, I feel like. Huh. Fortunately, he's just 1 mana off and be able to do everything he wants.
Yep. Farseer will keep him safe here, out of Holy Fire range. Alright, so Mind Control comes down, he takes a bit of damage.
Oh, he's got Oknai Circle combo, by the way.
That's very important.
Yeah, that could be important to kill off what's on the board, push through with his final remaining damage. Oh, but he's got the silence, and he's got the Mortal Coil. Mortal Coil was kind of inconsequential.
Oh man, he's playing this so aggressively. He got the Giant down, which means he could be dead to Holy Fire right now.
Yeah.
But
he's not.
I think, okay, you heal the Farseer, I think.
Yeah.
Try to draw lethal. You gotta go for that chance.
What about attacking the Iron Beak Owl in Circle of Healing afterwards?
You don't have lethal. Oh, well, you don't have lethal then, because you need the Northshire to hit face.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Because you can't just hero power because you don't. The Holy Fire is 6 mana.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Kolento's gonna consider all of his options before making that desperate play, but I think it's his best chance of winning. He has 1 copy of Holy Fire, so it's like a 1 in 15 chance or something.
Right away.
But I think it's his best odd.
Wow, he's going for the circle play.
But does he have more deaths? How many Shadow Word deaths does he have?
Sylvanas is so tight-edged, and I think SilentStorm has a Soulfire. So
I have no time.
just Sylvanas heal should be able to do it.
Is someone injured?
Definitely. Well, SilentStorm ties it up with Warlock. Surprise, surprise. Let's see how far this deck can take him.
Yeah, Kolento's gonna have to play something else here. The Priest deck struggles so much in this matchup. And once again, getting close, but we also know that as close as it is to 0, and see if Kolento can continue on this trend, or can SilentStorm use his momentum that he gained with his handlock. Kolento, again, the guy who's been for a long time on ladder, dominating, and people were wondering whether or not he can have the opportunity to prove in tournaments, and now he's starting to really put out consistent results. So much so that the Chinese respect him as a tier 1 player. Now, Reynad as a tier 3 player. How do you evaluate SilentStorm's skill relative to how you and Kolento and the disparity between you two.
I mean, I would answer that question, but what does my opinion matter as a lowly tier 3, peasant?
That's right. Know your place. All right. Well,
I hope I get to
Kolento's
play in
start-
that tournament. Yeah.
Oh man, it's gonna be awesome if you have the opportunity to.
All right. Well, some life tapping, some stuff happening. Kolento is so confident in this priest deck,
Right away.
even against handlock. It's insane to me. But he's been playing this deck perfectly, and he's really comfortable with it. I like the list a lot. It's definitely the best priest deck I've seen, like by a mile. I think the Undertaker deck is just significantly weaker if Hunter is being banned. There's just no reason to play it. Or like in this case, where Starving Buzzard's banned. Because that deck, literally, there's no like series of draws that could make that, that could let that deck beat handlock. Whereas this deck still can sometimes, as Kolento has shown.
Yeah, and the Thought Steal ends up being pretty decent. It gets at least something to do and challenge this Twilight Drake. Because before, he's just kind of at the mercy of whatever his opponent put out. But they should be able to survive.
Is this the first time he's Thought Stolen turn 3? Because that's actually fantastic here. He makes an even bigger Drake. He's, getting on board in a comparable way to the handlock. He's not as far ahead on board, but he's at least doing something. Whereas in the other games, it was a lot of, healing injured Blade Masters and stuff. It's a much faster start from both players than we've seen. You have to Shadow Madness Void Caller.
Yeah. You want to
That's
deny the Doom Guard for sure.
If only Sylvanas were a demon. Whoa.
Really?
I don't understand.
I feel like that's strictly worse. Unless he wants the demon to come out.
Maybe
So
he
then
wants the
Sylvanas
demon
can
to...
challenge it. Yeah.
Kolento's
Oh, that's-
he's trying to justify it. We are too.
Yeah, it's
don't
an
worry.
awkward moment where you convince yourself it was the right play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Hellfire trade. He doesn't have Shadow Word Pain, so, a 3/15 Jiraxis would put in a good amount of work. Also just
Wow.
play Belcher, I guess. It's more defensive. You could life tap.
3/15 Jiraxis. Now that's crazy Shadow Madness potential.
Yeah. I think the Void Caller deck is the one we actually tested more than anything as a team for BlizzCon qualifiers. Ended up just not being good enough. Ours was very different, though. SilentStorms is a handlock deck with Void Caller Doomguard. Ours was more Undertaker-oriented. I like his list a lot, though. It gives you more 4-drops, so you more consistently have a Drake/Giant, just like a play on turn 4. Because the games that we've seen handlock lose in this tournament have been the games where it just doesn't have a threat on turn 4 for whatever reason. So, he's basically playing 33% more of them. And,
Yeah,
it's
it does
definitely
cut
been
back
working
the
out.
early game, though. Like, the fact that you don't have Ancient Watchers and your defensive ability. But, at the same time, in the meta where it's pretty slow, Ancient Watchers aren't doing too much other than buying you time, similar to Sludge Belchers. So, I can see the rationale of that. It's definitely pretty cool.
One thing when we were trying different Void Caller decks was it got awkward sometimes when you drew Doomguard without Void Caller, because you never wanted to just hardcast it, almost ever. Like in this case, it's okay because it's handlock, right? So very
good
handlock's used
roll.
to having a couple dead cards. I think he'd rather have Jiraxis in hand for sure.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely.
It's gonna eat a Shadow or Death too. It's very good for him. So if you Shadow or Death, do you just... you probably don't play Akanai. Can he Thought Steal before he Shadow or Deaths, or does he get too many cards?
No, you should be able to. As long as you don't have 10 cards in hand, you can always Thought Steal.
So I think you should Thought Steal, and then just Death. But that's not putting anything on the board, so maybe that's not great.
I have no time for games.
Oh, that's actually a pretty good play. It's good against everything except Mortal Coil.
Well, he already used his one of his mortal coils. Oh, well, he's got mortal coil.
Ooh.
Faceless. Don't know if that changes anything. Okay, well, uses the cycle through, and both the mortal coils are out, so a nice fortunate position for SilentStorm. Back over to
Definitely.
Kolento.
Well,
All right, see what he gets off this thought steal.
oh,
Whoa,
wow.
baby! Pair of mountain giants.
He's excited.
That is the most happy I've ever seen Kolento. He can't believe it. No one else can either.
Got him.
Wow.
All right. So this all of a sudden looks much better for Kolento.
Yeah, not bad, dude.
See,
Two mountain giants.
You see what he's doing right here? The fact that he's even considering that means SilentStorm has been the best Warlock player in this tournament by a mile. Like, the fact that he's just considering slamming Draxus against Priest turn 9. That's the play I kept suggesting in the other matchups, but no one ever did it. But it's almost always right. He has the Molten Giant in hand, which is, like, the reason he might not want to. But, like, realistically, it's probably the right play. Almost always on turn 9, because he's not dead on the counter swing. Like, Priest can't deal with this.
Damn, that respect. Kolento. Tossing out well played. Raynad tossing out the compliments.
So many players in this tournament had the opportunity to just do this against Priest, and none of them did until now. He didn't even, like, he just immediately clicked on it. Like, that's the right mentality in this matchup. He's played this before. So I guess if you're Kolento, you kill that thing, Cabal Shadow Priest the Sludge, after you play another Giant, and hope that Shadow Flame doesn't crush your hopes and dreams somehow. But he can't play Molten Giant, so I don't think it's possible for Shadow Flame to...
Let's see, can he Mountain Giant? His opponent's holding 7 cards, so he actually can on 10 mana. A 6 mana Molten Giant plus Shadow Flame. That is a remote possibility. This seems to be the best play. Although, is there an alternative of some kind? The one thing I like about it too is that it does give you the little taunt, so you're not taking any more damage.
Yeah, I like Power Word Shield first. Probably right. It's gonna make it a little bit... Oh, I don't know about this. He should play the Giant first, shouldn't he? Oh, he doesn't want to overextend, I guess, into...
Yep.
I mean, I think, like, Power Overwhelming Shadow Flame is the only way that the board could swing poorly for him. All right.
Oh, that's right. The heal on it also discourages Shadow Flame as well. So that's why. I was like, why not just put it at like the Power Word Shield to prevent another Draxus attack? But it makes total sense.
No. So he's in a really good spot here. I don't see this game is still kind of even. Like Kolento's Thought Steal was so insane.
Wait.
Oh,
Nope,
he's
this
just
game's
so
over.
happy.
This
Yep.
game's over. Silence plus Shadow Word Death plus Holy Nova. That's
That was
actually
like his
game.
only out.
Oh, actually, no. He had double Shadow Word Death. Just kidding. No, he has a silent. Oh no,
Oh, no, he had the
doesn't matter.
coin. He had the coin
He has
for the
coin.
Nova. Yeah, okay.
All right. Well,
So never mind.
he's able to
Yeah.
outlast him. There you go.
He didn't even need to top deck that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
The game was
So
well
we
played
made
by
it.
both players.
We made it more hype than it actually was, but good job by Kolento, and SilentStorm loses with his handlock deck on the second go. That's an important loss because he only can play it one more time in this.
Yeah, here we go with game 4 of Kolento versus SilentStorm.
Your soul shall be mine.
All right,
Kolento.
handlock. Here we go.
You should keep Mortal Coil against Paladin. It's a free roll anyway.
Yeah, as you know, most likely there's going to be an instance as you're going through your turns where you're going to cycle through, but he's looking for something else instead. Perhaps the Giant. Just their 4 drops in general are so crucial, like you said. And more important than that is that you deny your opponent the ability to answer it once, you're able to snowball that lead way out of
He should
control.
He should coin life tap here against Paladin. It's a slow matchup. He's not going to need to siphon on 5, so it's correct to coin life tap for sure. Coin life tap turn 1, turn 2 life tap, turn 3 Watcher, turn 4 Drake, turn 5 life tap Giant.
How about
That-
turn 2 Watcher?
Is not good. Well, let me think about this.
Reporting for duty.
So he's gonna Sun Fury, right? Otherwise, why coin out?
Well, because he might draw Owl, and then if he doesn't draw Owl, he life taps. I put him up to 6 cards, 7 cards, 8 cards now. Okay, this is not. I don't know. I don't like this.
It's completely taken a left turn here. What is Kolento planning?
I don't know, man. He just really gotta. He has Molten Giants in his deck, but he really wants to protect his life total against the slow Control Paladin deck. I mean, this get.
I've seen him do this strategy against Shaman, and I've seen him do
Against
it.
Shaman, it's correct. Yeah, against Shaman, it's
Right.
absolutely correct. Turn on Watcher, but this, yeah, I don't know.
And I wasn't sure if he was playing it aggressive simply because the matchup is a little bit tougher, so he's trying to take the preemptive board control, which makes more sense if so. But then he avoided these tokens early on with the Sun Fury Protector.
Yeah, I mean, he would be at a bit. See, like last turn he attacked face. This turn he's attacking a 1/1.
Right.
I don't understand. He's
don't.
supposed to be thinking about stuff I'm not thinking about. I am pretty tired. I'm probably missing something. It's not a bad turn to equality. That Watcher really baited the equality, which is very good for Kolento here. That equality didn't do nearly as much as it normally would in this matchup. I personally would have just Aldor Peacekeepered and Hero Powered and kept slow playing it.
Well, Kolento's ways are not our ways. That's for certain. Don't know what exactly he's planning, but he's certainly trying to bait out a lot of aggression, or sorry, put out a lot of aggression early on, so to speak, so that way his opponent's removal is baited out. And if you saw like matches, for example, against like Gara yesterday at Deck Wars, there was opportunities where the Paladin had to expend a lot of resources early on, so then it's way less effective with the qualities later on. Now look at this! SilentStorm plays the Thaddeus twins. What do you think
That's
about
awesome.
this, Reynad?
I'm a big fan of those. And he drew them in the order he wants to. You want the 4/7 first. Because the 7/4 is harder to ignore. So they force to trade and give you the Thaddeus. But yeah, it's strong cards, great in slower matchups. Underplayed, in my opinion, but only because there are so many other good 5-drops you can be playing right now.
Oh yeah, definitely. Everyone's fallen in love with the Sludge Belcher and Lothad. Not to mention if you're aggressive,
Yeah.
you're playing Spectral Knights. It's just few can install like the cool, but there's also the very big weakness of what if you draw one at the very bottom of your deck. So
Yeah, I wonder if this
there's
was
a
the right
possibility you
play.
never get out.
Like, it's right to Peacekeeper, but I think I would have attacked into the 1/8 just in case Kolento had an Owl. He's gonna not end up getting punished for it at all. Kolento doesn't have the Owl here, but it's yeah, not sure if that's right or not. So pretty good turn for Defender Vargas, good turn for Giant. He's got a lot of solid options here. Life tap Giant is almost definitely right though. You just want to keep playing dudes, although that does commit 2 big creatures to the board, which makes you a little bit weaker against another equality, but he's already played one. One of your Giants is mostly dealt with. I probably would have played the 8/8 rather than making the Defender play, but this isn't bad. It's just less aggressive.
I'm trying to
Alright.
analyze more of this deck. It seems like SilentStorm, he cut one of the humilities, and he's put in like a Sun Fury Protector. And he's gone for more of a interesting approach. He has the Thaddeus twins. He's got double Guardian of Kings, really trying to go for a lot of heal, and he even has late game scaling like Kale Tazad.
He's playing Acolytes without the humility, which is interesting. He's banking on and getting like natural 1-power creatures played against him a little bit more than usual. Sylvanas here is a solid play. The Paladin deck can't really activate Ancient Watcher on its own, so now that Kolento's done it for you, stealing that Watcher isn't that bad. Let's see.
No silence available for Kolento, and that was tested already to a certain extent in the previous turn.
Well, you can copy Sylvanas, I guess. It's probably not ideal this turn.
Okay, well, he's going to play Mountain Giant after whatever gets stolen, looks like.
I mean, shouldn't he have just attacked the Foigan and put more damage on the Mountain Giant? Right? Because he could have attacked the 4-power
Right.
creature.
Oh, man. Oh, okay, I was thinking SilentStorm could get big value off Kael'thasad, but
It sort of
I
can.
had the opposite. Yeah, I guess I kind of mixed it up by accident, where I thought the health of the Defender of Argus was actually the health of the Giant, vice versa. But that would have been pretty insane. Yeah, still has opportunity next turn to get really good value off of that as well. All right, Kolento, what are you gonna do?
Oh, that is
Wow.
a really good draw. Doesn't need
Yeah,
it yet, but it'll be very important.
Second Shadow Flame, just to continue to impact the board. Soulfire sounds good to me.
Yeah, Soulfire is like Pyroblast to the face if you want to use it now. It's probably fine.
Let's see, there's the hand just in general. I don't think you want to discard much.
That's kind of always the case, though, with Handlock. It doesn't play bad cards. You just have to use it aggressively. Most, I mean, you don't have to, but it's usually right, too. Yeah, now he doesn't have Siphon, but he has a way to get through most other things. I mean, that Siphon was one of his more important cards, I think. It's probably a unique way of dealing with something like Tyrion. Still hero powering instead of playing Tyrion. It's really interesting.
To battle.
I mean, he even saw the Siphon get discarded. Maybe he's trying to bait Ironbeak Owl. I don't know.
To battle.
Yeah, it is curious. Probably just, yeah, doesn't want to lose that 5/3 Ashbringer. That would make sense too. Just wants to get power on the board in some capacity, but I think this is where, you know, the cards like Hellfire get value.
Absolutely. I mean, that Giant's still going to be alive after this. You could even Hellfire into Lotheb.
So many possibilities.
Yep. Kolento's very far ahead on board. It's tough to lose from this spot, I feel like. He can taunt up the Stalag.
Yeah, and there's lots of room for late game cards to come out here, and with Siphon Soul gone, that's going to reduce Kolento's ability to directly remove these. Like, for example, the Thaddeus, the best way to remove, of course, is Siphon Soul, but he's lost one. So taunting up Thaddeus seems pretty nice. Just has to make sure to not die, because there's 12 damage on board here.
Absolutely. I think I would go with the Stalag. Stalag, Hero Power, Sun Fury.
Well, with Tyrion, you're crossing your fingers, hoping your opponent doesn't have silence now. But there is an opportunity for Kolento just to get this Ironbeak Owl and push for the 13 damage on board.
All right, so another giant. Not exactly what he wanted here.
That was a
Can
mistake.
copy the Tyrion.
Wait. Oh, yeah, you can copy Tyrion, Soulfire, and Shadow Flame for the win.
Yep. If the
Oh, okay.
oh no, it's
Oh,
guarantees
same
the kill
thing.
with the
Yeah.
weapon. Yeah,
There you go.
this is better
Much
because
cleaner.
doesn't risk the discard.
There
Cool.
you go. Kolento jumps out to a 3-1 lead, and now SilentStorm's on his last life. And Kolento's done it all with his handlock, with his priest, and will take the championship here. Or will SilentStorm be able to keep the underdog hopes alive as he represents the people? And he off to a great start once again. The Druids have been getting wild growth. If they don't have
Yeah.
wild growth, it feels like they have Innervate.
That hand is fantastic. Keeping the Drake is interesting. He's keeping it because he wants to coin it out on turn 3. But that would make him vulnerable to a Soulfire on the turn that Handlock drops its threat. So I generally don't like keeping 4/4s. Oh, no, coin. He should have coined Wild Growth, I think. Then could go into Golem, into Sen'jin, into Azure Drake. Instead, he's going to save his coin, which I suppose makes sense.
Yeah, I suppose because this matchup's play a little bit on the slower end, you don't need to put out the heart. I don't know. It is weird. Usually, if you had the Harvest Golem, you coin out the Wild Growth so you can put it out the following turn.
I mean, I guess the early damage doesn't matter. Makes you vulnerable to Molten Giant. Like here, he's going to coin the Azure instead of just playing the Sen'jin. It's so interesting. I don't like that. Now, and if he played Sen'jin, he could... If he drew Keeper, he would have the coin to deal with. Yeah, there's that Soulfire.
Soulfire.
And
Face
just
is
like
a
we
little...
mentioned,
Yeah, a little hard to swallow that the Faceless is left, but still there's probably plenty of threats remaining in Kolento's hand / deck.
well, let's see what threats Handlock has left. Do you Mortal Coil at the cost of developing a minion this turn? Probably not. I think the best play is Loatheb no attack.
We'll see what he draws first. You could always tap and then play Sun Fury.
Yeah,
Well, if you want to open yourself to Black Knight, if you don't want to, then you just pass.
I never like getting Black Knighted. Yeah, I agree with Kolento not playing something here.
I don't think anybody in the world likes getting Black Knighted.
No, it is the worst feeling. Well, the worst feeling is taking like 14 damage from Leper Gnome, but at least that's over with quickly. When you get Black Knighted, you still have to play the game for like a few more turns. Alright, so...
Well, he draws into Mountain Giant, so he can start putting out threats. But then this is where BGH really starts coming in hand for SilentStorm.
Yeah, absolutely. Harvest Golems are not creatures that there are really any good ways to kill, so... I mean, I guess you life tap and just play Giant and hit face. It's probably the best line of play. Yeah.
All right, well, he's got plenty of more Giants where that came from, so even though the first one can get dealt with, there is plenty of gas in the tank. As long as SilentStorm makes sure not to overextend into cards like Shadow Flame.
You know, he really wants a Keeper of the Grove here. Doesn't have access to it, though. Just going to keep developing the board, going face. I mean, Shadow Flame does clear most of the board, but it's not the end of the world for him. He's already seen one Mortal Coil down, so those Harvest Golem tokens left over are going to be pretty useful.
Yeah, I think so too. And you want to start sneaking in that damage because I believe his Druid deck runs just one piece of the combo, right? So you might still have this scenario similar to the aggressive token Druid that Strifeco introduced, that you might still just end the game with Savage Roar itself with the existing death battle. So there are possibilities for you to sneak in a win if the handlock player is a little careless.
Absolutely. Big Game Hunter just turned the game around so much. I'm not even sure if you'd rather like Shadow Flame or Hellfire here. I guess you Shadow Flame, take the damage, and then next turn you Hellfire, and then play Moltens. That's probably the best line of play. I mean, you could try to like siphon and attack a 4-2, but I don't really like that. You have double Moltens.
Kolento taking his time on this one. Going for the big clear.
I think Shadow Flame is better than Hellfire because you take more damage, which you want.
You're saying you want him to play Shadow Flame, or you don't want him to play Shadow
I do want him to play Shadow Flame because if he Shadow Flamed, he would have no creatures on board. So SilentStorm would have no option but to either attack him or not attack him, right? If he attacks him, he gets double Molten Gianted. Like, I don't know. It's like now he has a Shadow Flame in his hand rather than a Hellfire for a board with a bunch of 2/1s. That seems worse to me.
Wow. SilentStorm is 1 damage off killing his opponent right now.
Yep, and one mana as well. I think I would still... I would Savage or Hero Power. Force the heal, and then you have Keeper Swipe. I don't know if I would, actually. It's a really tough call. I don't think you can afford to play around Molten. Like, yes, Kolento has 2 of them, but SilentStorm doesn't know that, and it's so unlikely that Kolento has both of them.
Ugh, this is very tough spot. I think... It's not like your opponent can bounce back immediately with something like Jirax's either to heal up, so... I think going for a Throat might be the best course of action here.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just a waste. These creatures are just gonna get blown out otherwise. You gotta make a decision quick. Oh, okay.
Oh
no.
Server delay. He's only gonna attack once to play around to play around
Giants.
Moltens. Yeah, it's never... I don't know, 13 is not the number you want them at, if that's your plan, because they can just life tap, and Molten Giant doesn't care about your feelings. It just comes into play, and it's just over at that point. Kolento might have to tap here at 10 cards just to take 2 damage. He'll burn the card, but he'll be able to play double Molten Defender.
Alright, well, the Molten Giant's coming out.
Oh, he has
And
Sun
sets
Fury.
up a huge wall. Yeah,
Man,
the
I'm
Sun
tired.
Fury allows him to taunt. Ah, it's
I
all
didn't even
good.
see
Same
that.
difference.
Yeah.
Same difference. The idea was to get the defender, was to get some kind of taunt out there, which is important. But Black Knight is going to pick up big value here.
Yep.
Finally able to burst through a little bit of the giant taunts, and there's no more giants, I believe, inside of Kolento's hand. So he's going to have to win with what's at his disposal at the moment. As you can see, Kolento a little uncomfortable with how that sequence of events went down.
Yeah, that was brutal for him.
Oh, well, he gets another giant. Excuse me.
Had he
Spoke too
Shadow
soon.
Flamed, he could have Hellfired that turn and then played Giants without taunting them. He would be
That's true.
like vulnerable to the combo then, but
My shield for Argus.
Yeah, get out of here with your logic, Reynad. Kolento sets up another wall of giants. Can SilentStorm push through here, though?
I wonder if it was better to just Defender the mountain and not the Sun Fury, because now you're letting the Sun Fury die for free, and the 2 damage that, or the 2 health that it leaves the Black Knight at, is pretty inconvenient. Maybe you just want to decrease the odds of dying to stuff, though. I guess it's fine. You just gain 4 life. Alright, so you got some trees.
Yeah, I'm
Defender's
trying to hold
gonna-
off the impact of it, but let's see. Kolento does have Shadow Flame and Siphon Soul, which clears the board. Sounds pretty good to me, mate.
Yep. Hard to do better than that.
And
This is,
there's nothing really to challenge this, right? He's just got damage in his hand.
There's an Ancient of War,
man.
but I think Kolento has a million answers in his hand.
He's got a second Siphon Soul, too.
Yep. I think he has an Owl as well.
Gosh. He's wrathing for 1. Needs to draw something here.
He could have just killed it. Instead of dying to one of the Owls he hasn't seen, or the second Siphon, he could have just Wrath, swiped, and keepered it, I think.
So if Kolento has any additional damage, Soulfire, does he run 2 Hellfires? No, he only runs 1. Tap for the win? Still 2 damage short.
You gotta Siphon that. It's the best Siphon target in the deck.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't lose much from it. Wow, put his opponent down to 3 HP. SilentStorm is staring at defeat. Ugh. Well, unfortunately, he still can't even answer this. And Kolento looks really happy, like perhaps he knows his opponent can't deal with it at the moment. Drew just ran out of answers.
I think that's going to do it. I think Kolento is the champion of Prismata Cup #2. There's some really great play here in the top 8.
Super solid play overall. Well done. And Kolento is going to take his second championship in the month. Well done to him. And once again, holding strong. And even though SilentStorm fell short here, he absolutely should be proud of the run that he made.